Tour Junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the 2024 Farmers Insurance DraftKings DFS preview. DB here with the Tour Junkies. Pat Perry with me. We are back. I am back from my Tahoe 40th birthday skiing and casinoing vacation mini break. And I come back and stuff is weird. Some little high schoolers won the Amex, shutting down my boy Sammy B. Stuff's just weird in the world, Pat. I don't know why. Like, why did the wheels fall off all of a sudden?
You know, when you celebrate your birthday for a month, month long, then a lot of weird stuff can happen in that. I mean, like, you gave yourself too many days of weird things to happen.
I heard you talking about that on the Thursday show you did with Tony. You probably thought, you might have thought I wasn't going to watch, but I watched.
Oh, I knew you watched because I think I said something nice about you.
I don't remember that one, but I do remember you talking about my month-long birthday celebration, and I do not agree with said month-long birthday celebration. Thank you. I can't celebrate.
Your birthday was in December, and it's January 21st. What's today?
Yeah, okay.
22nd. It's a month after your birthday.
My birthday is on the 19th of December, and it is not an optimal time to take a 3-day Tahoe ski trip vacation a week before Christmas.
Perfect time, right before. It's probably cheaper.
It was not. It is cheaper to go when I went, when it was not near the holidays.
Right.
And you don't have kids worried about Christmas. Give me a freaking break. Nick Dunlap won the PGA Tour event. We talked about him at the top of the betting show. Strange times. We don't have to get into it, but just we said this on the betting show. We're just going to let everybody know. We are going to do something different next year for the Amex. We're just going to do something different. We're going to get real. It's going to be Get Weird Amex week. And we're just going to do something weird. It's either going to be a live Tour Junkies event somewhere where we completely act like the Amex isn't even happening. We're just going to act like it's not happening. We're going to do something. We're going to have a golf event. We're going to do something where we just don't even act like it exists. Maybe we'll all go to Tahoe.
Let's just go somewhere and use our Amex and then not act like it existed.
There we go. We could do this.
I don't think you're supposed to do that, but
there we go.
We could use the Amex wherever we go.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to do something different next year because it's just such a weird event. I'm just over it. Unless they change the format or it changes somehow, we're not doing it anymore. That's the end of that. We've got a great show tonight. We are going to obviously get into our DraftKings DFS thoughts, where the chalk is going to be, some cash plays, some pivot tournament options, talk about all the different ranges. We're going to give our 6K draft at the end of the show. But not at the end of the show. At the very end of the show is going to be what I think is going to be pretty good piece of content. We're in the content biz, and I would say that most of our good content comes from Pat. In terms of like our slam dunk content, it comes from Pat. And Pat and producer Tony have been working on something behind the scenes. I've not even seen it myself. Intentionally avoided it, actually, so that my raw reaction could be recorded here on this very show.
Tony tried hard. He sent a link out to it on the group,
and I resisted.
Yeah.
But producer Tony and Pat have been working on something to do with farming, and I'm excited.
What if you hate it? We will be quite the disappointment you will see immediately in our faces and in our eyes, because we'll probably start crying.
And as you saw on the betting show, I'm in the mood to give some candid feedback tonight.
Yeah.
So I will give some feedback. We had a very interesting listener voicemail segment on the betting show. If you were one of the few listeners who called in and left a voicemail over the last month, and you want to know if your voicemail got played, first clue: did you call in and speak incoherently and possibly in an altered state? Then odds are yes, your voicemail made it. But we had some good voicemails, some funny voicemails on there. Would love to have more of those. Basically, so go listen to that. That's at the end of the betting show. But tonight, at the end of this show, I think we're going to have one of those classic. It could be a classic TJ moment. Now, hopefully, I haven't built it up too much. I might have gone too far.
You might have. Calm down a little bit. By the
Next
way,
week,
my eye
though,
is itching a lot right now, and I don't know why. What does that mean? When your nose itches, it means something. Maybe it means bad content is coming up. I
yeah,
don't know.
it might mean the content's in your eye and you're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a great show next week. Special guest next week in the Discord and on the show for Monday because it is the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. It's a signature event. Field's gonna be great. We're gonna get 3 full days of Pebble, I think, because they changed the format. Our friend Danny Woodhead, Super
Oh,
Bowl running
yes.
back, New England Patriots, Danny Woodhead, golf loving fool is going to be on the show. And we're just going to kind of start wetting our beak for the Super Bowl that's coming up. So Danny's going to maybe share a story or two from his Super Bowl time. And he's also a golf guy. So we're going to talk about that, talk about the matchup. Whoever wins is Sunday. That's going to be a good time. You don't want to miss that. And then Wednesday night in the weekly live chat in the Discord, our boy Byron, the Model Maniac, is going to join me and Pat for the full chat next week for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. And this week, we got to tell everybody, remember, everything's getting moved up. They tee off on Wednesday this week, so they don't compete with the NFL playoffs on Sunday. So the tournament will end on Saturday, which means the Discord chat gets pushed to Tuesday night. So we'll see you in the Discord on Tuesday night. All the content we're going to still put out. It'll just be condensed for the week. You should get both your emails this week as well. And like I said, don't forget that Tory starts on Wednesday. So make sure you get those lineups in, locked in, and built out by Wednesday morning. I think that's all for announcements, Pat. Presented to you by our friends at SoBet. Grateful for our friends at SoBet. If anybody was going to have Nick Dunlap at 300 to 1, it was going to be one of the 60 plus fantastic sports handicappers all on SoBet that you can have access to anytime, any place. Tremendous content there on SoBet. Great handicappers, all guys who know what they're doing, vetted by SoBet, have to give logic for every play, unit plays for every play, and they got to be transparent whether they win or lose. So you can hold your handicappers accountable, and that's what we all need. And they cover every single sport, including us, the Tour Junkies, with exclusive bets only on SoBet every single week. You can check it out and click the link in the description of the video or podcast. You can click the QR code on the screen. It takes you straight there. Code TJ at sign up or TJ trial at sign up gets you your first month for free, and you can cancel at any time, although you will not want to. So thanks to our friends at SoBet. Let's get into this, Pat. I'm going to start. I'm going to do something a little different. Every week I've been doing the course preview. This week I didn't do it. You know why? Because I was celebrating my month-long 40th birthday.
Mhm,
I didn't
yeah.
do it. But we know about Torrey Pines North, Torrey Pines South. We're going to see, three rounds on the South course if you make the cut. One round either on Wednesday or Thursday at the North course, the easier course. I think with the perfect weather conditions that we continue to have every week of the PGA Tour this season, we're not going to be talking as much about a weather wave advantage, any of that stuff, because there's probably not going to be one. It looks absolutely perfect. It looks kind of cool, but no real wave advantage, no real course advantage. But you are going to have to get your birdies on the North course. The North course traditionally plays so much easier. It's like 500 yards shorter, gettable par fives there, still a par 72. Going to have to get your birdies there. And I think there's going to be birdies on the South course too, but it is the more difficult golf course, but it is the only course we have shot link data on. You're going to have shot tracker on, all that stuff. So I thought, let's pull it. Since I didn't get to do the video, let me share my screen and look at the course page over on Bet the Number, just to get an idea of, what we need to expect here at Torrey Pines. So I'm going to share my screen here looking at the course page. Now, I've got the last 3 years selected here, 2023, 22, 21. I can go further out there if I want to look at a bigger sample size, but I'm just going last 3 years here at Torrey Pines. Par 72, around 7,700 yards. We got POA this week, Pat. Old POA. And we got Kikuya, which is like the rye bluegrass category. We get the Kikuya back. I'm excited about that. But over the last
Tony probably doesn't remember when I first
he
said
doesn't, no.
POA. The first time
or Kikuya, by the way.
or Kikuya, but that was one, and then POA. The first time this is way back. What was it? The first year?
2016, yeah.
I said POA Annua.
POA Annua, yes.
We are on POA Annua greens.
And then I think I made a face, and you're like, Annua, POA Annua. Oh Lord, it sounds like a medical procedure. Oh, what happened to Bob last week? Oh, he had a POA Annua. One of those 6-week recovery. Yeah, good Lord. And then Kikuya. Do you remember how you said Kikuya?
God, I can't remember that one.
Like, you said Kikuya.
Tony's got a little
Oh,
something here
Tony,
for
what do you Pat, you said Kikuya. You don't remember that?
us.
Pat, I can't laugh at you too hard right now. So we homeschool our kids, and I'm working with my son every day, just reading,
Oh,
writing, all
God,
that
bless
kind
your
of
heart. I
stuff.
can't imagine.
Yeah.
And so it has its challenges, but it has made me realize how dumb that I really am. Like, I know I'm dumb,
Yeah.
but it just shines a light because I'll help him with his reading. I'm like, okay, you put these two letters together, they make this sound, all that kind of stuff. And then 45 minutes later, I'm off reading a book or reading an article or something like that. And then I am like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm trying to like sound out these words and just sound like the biggest idiot. I cannot get that. Like, I can't get it down or whatever. So then I just do the mumble thing and just go do it, go through it real fast or whatever. I just have complete stage fright now. If like we're at a Bible study or we're at something where I've got to like read out to other
Oh
people,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh gosh, here comes a big long word. Like I gotta power through it.
Buddy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I understand. And in the golf world, I mean, there are a lot of crazy words. There really are. I mean, just this week, So
I mean, Tony, if you want to feel better about yourself, just go back and listen to the end of our betting show, the listener voicemails, buddy. Just keep those on
Yeah.
standby and pull those up. You'll feel way better. Those guys can't say words that they know in their brain, much less read tough words, so you're good.
yeah.
Oh,
Step above.
Anyway, Torrey Pine South, you're going to hit less fairways. We can see that here. Much lower fairway hit percentage. About average green and reg, maybe a little lower. Scrambling's a little tougher. 3 putts go up from 25 feet. Birdies go down a little bit. Bogeys go up a good bit. Par 3, par 4, par 5. Scoring average you see there. And then I love to look at this past top performers. We've got it sorted to winners, but I like kind of expanding out of that. Let's look at like guys in the top 10 over the last 3 years. What did they do well in these basic strokes gain categories? You can see a ton of green in a couple of these, a ton of dark green in a couple of these, a ton of mint green over here. Not as much over here, Pat. Like, it's kind of interesting. It's harder to gain strokes off the tee at Torrey. Not a ton of guys do it. But around the green definitely gets a tick up this week. I think it's going to be even more so with the wet conditions. But you just see like all this dark green iron play is you just better do it, or make everything you look at on the greens on these POA surfaces. Comments there?
Well, one of the things I love about that screen is it kind of like if you're going to the course first, if that's the first thing you like to look at when you're doing your research, it's just like that overall view of the basic stats. It kind of gives you like almost your mind a baseline for what you want to be looking at this week when you look at those stats, and you can kind of, the green stands out, the red stands out. So that's one thing I like looking at this. I'd like to look at this page first whenever I am starting some research.
Yep. Same. I love this stuff too down here at the bottom. Definitely a bomber's paradise, at least over the last 3 years. This proprietary stat here, bomb opportunity. If you're 20 yards longer than the average, you have the potential to gain 2.1 strokes per round. And then if you're 10 to 25 yards shorter than average, you're losing almost 2.25 shots per round. Huge gap there for the biggest hitter. So, do you have to be a bomber at Torrey? No. I mean, if you look back at the names here that have finished in the top 10 over the last 5 years, there are some short hitters. I mean, Sung Jae's not long. Sam Ryder's not long. But there's not many of them. So Pat Perez, not long. God dang, I can't believe he did that. Patrick Reed, not long. But the bomb opportunity is there if you're kind of a super bomber and you can keep it in the fairway, especially. And then you've got the approach shot distribution. You see a lot more mid to long irons here at Torrey than we see on a lot of the average PGA Tour courses. And I love that we can separate and see from the fairway, from the rough, or from obviously from the fairway is going to dominate most courses, but you get a tick up in the rough in terms of approach shots. So guys are going to have to hit shots out of this thick stuff, and that thick kikuya, as Pat used to say. And then I love the around the green distribution too. We both think around the green play is going to be pretty important this week, even more so with the wet conditions. Guys are going to be in the rough, And with the wet rough, it's probably going to be tougher to get the ball all the way to the green. It's not going to be bouncing. So I think there's going to be a lot of around the green shots, even more so than normal because of more missed greens in these wet conditions. So that's going to be important. You can see from the fairway or short grass, from the thick rough, how it gets distributed, and then we can adjust our models accordingly. So anyway, great stuff here from Bet the Number. If you are interested in a Bet the Number account, you can click the link in the description of the video or the podcast. You can use promo code TJ and get yourself $5 off the monthly membership or $50 off the annual membership. If you're watching on YouTube, you can click the QR code there. But Bet the Number, fantastic site already. Massive improvements too. I just freaking recorded the screen share demos 10 days ago. And since then, we've already
you got to do them again.
I know.
All over again.
Already added all these other features that are not in that demo in just the less than 2 weeks. So shout out to the team there, the developer team at Bet the Number. And they've been extremely active in our Discord too, getting feedback, getting suggestions. We've got a ton of features on the roadmap getting knocked out as we speak. So love the response we've gotten so far from folks over at Bet the Number. If you're at Fantasy National right now, and we pushed Fantasy National for a long time, and it served the community well for a long time, but things changed over there. If you're still there, I can assure you that you make the move to Bet the Number, you're not going to feel like you're missing anything. In fact, you're going to be gaining some things that they're not doing over there at Fantasy National. It's just a better product right now, and it's built by and being built by and maintained and improved by only people who are here to focus on golf betting and DFS golf, and improve the golf product. They're not doing any other sports. They're not working on anything else. It's all golf. So I think that's going to go a long way when it comes to response time, feedback, suggestions, features, enhancements, all that good stuff. So check it out. Bet the Number. Let's get into the 9K and above range, Pat. Where the chalk gonna be? That's usually where we like to start, huh? Where's it gonna land? Patrick, where is it gonna land? Because I think at Torrey, it does start to feel like the first tournament where it's not going to be a putting contest. It's like the opposite of a putting contest because it's POA. So we've had 3 straight putting contests, or kind of. I don't know what Nick Dunlap did last week because I wasn't paying attention. But we had these 3 random putting contests. This feels like the first week of the year where it's like, all right, I can probably count on dang good ball strikers, with a little bit of experience around here, and they're probably not going to let me down. So this might be a little bit more of a, hey, let's pick our spots. We don't have to fade all the chalk. We're going to fade some chalk, but we don't have to fade all of it. We need to probably play some of it. Is any of so who are our guesses in the chalk up top here in the top range? I mean, the most expensive player only being Xander at 10.6. It's pretty soft pricing. It's easy to jam a couple 9K, 10K guys in your lineups.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think if I'm starting with the chalk, I think right at the top there, I think Xander is certainly going to be chalk. He's, we used to always get the.
Did you say he's going to be chalkies?
Did I?
I think it sounded like you said he's going to be chalkies.
No,
we got to run that back.
We may. It's like that commercial. It's like that commercial where they throw the flag and they're like, okay, let me.
Yes, that's a great idea, by the way. That is a great.
Yeah, let me check the tape on that. I mean, I'm having beers tonight. I'm having podcast juice, DB. So
you are. Nice.
You never know what's going to come out.
What are you drinking?
Just a little light beer right now. It was a Belgian wheat. Now it's just light. Anyway,
I had to abstain.
You're coming off of a few days of some, some good stuff. But so Xander, I do think is going to be chalky. He's got the whole not hometown, but maybe hometown narrative. You've got, but he's played well here. He's got a T2 in 2021, top 15 last year, coming off of a T3 at the American Express last week. Checks a lot of boxes. So I think Xander is certainly going to be chalky. I think Max Homa is going to be chalky. Obviously, the winner here last year. We've seen him once this calendar year, with a top 15 at the Century. It's just a great fit for him. So I think Homa is going to be chalky. I think if you're getting into the 9K, by the way, I'm fading Patrick Cantlay. And I think if Cantlay is chalky, I will gladly fade it. Hasn't played this tournament a whole lot. Not sure what that means, but he just hasn't played here. I don't feel like he's shown a whole lot this year so far. So I think if there's anybody if Cantlay's chalky, I will certainly fade him for sure, and I think he will be. I don't think he's going to go low owned. The other one that I would say in here in the 9K range that I think he'll be chalky is, well, it's probably going to be Sung Jae. It's probably going to be Sung Jae, and then I think you're going to have some options beneath him. I think there's a potential for Bear, maybe Finau, not Jason Day.
I don't think it's going to be Finau. I think it is Sung Jae, or it's Min Woo or Cole.
Cole's probably just like at this point. Cole is just gonna be, depending on your level of what you call chalk, is just gonna be up because so many people
He's perma
know
chalk.
his history at this point. So I mean, he's just a cut maker, and he's got a lot of upside. So
I think it's going to be Xander, Kawa, Homa. I agree. I think most people are going to avoid Cantlay. However, I like Cantlay. I'll talk about that in a minute. I think you're right on Sung Jae, and then I think it's. I guess it's Cole, because Cole's going to check more boxes with the shot length stats, but Min Woo would not. It wouldn't surprise me to see Min Woo in a lot of optimizers and all that stuff, like Min Woo popping. I don't know how the 9K. I can't figure out how the 9K is going to shake up. All I know is all these guys are going to get played. It's going to be a lot like last week, where all of the 9K range and above is going to get some action because they're all good players. The pricing is soft; you can get them in easily. So I do know that. The harder exercise may be figuring out who's going to be the lowest owned of the bunch and roll with it. But I do think in the 4 and the 10K range, Cantlay is the low guy because he doesn't have the course history. That's usually the first thing people look at. And they're going to see the 4 over round he had yesterday, which, listen, I am no Patrick Cantlay apologist. Typically don't like the guy. To shoot 4 over at the Amex is egregious. It's a horrible.
was something wrong? That's
so looking at his round, the biggest thing, he lost 2.5 strokes putting, but he lost 3 1/4 strokes on approach, but he lost 2 1/4 of those strokes on one shot, and that was his shot into number 10. By the way, from the fairway, he hit it 328 in the fairway on number 10 and lost 2 1/4 shots on his next swing. So, now he bounced back and had a birdie on the par 5 on the next hole. I mean, he shot even par on the last, what's that? On the last 8 holes, he shot even par, which is not great, but it's not as I don't think it's as bad as it looks. I actually think the weather and the downpour, the rain, the soft conditions that we have looking ahead at Torrey, they got a bunch of rain today on Monday. Course is going to be soft. I actually think that helps Cantlay a little bit because I think it makes the scoring a little bit easier. And I mean, we saw it kind of wet the year Justin Rose won, and he didn't get it to like 20 under or something. But we saw it play easier, not as firm with all the teeth, easier to hold the fairway a little bit. But I also like his short game here. I like the short game a little better than Xander's short game. And if I get a lower owned Cantlay at 10.5, I'm going to be on it. As much as I love Morikawa and Homa here, and I love both those guys. They were both my only picks in the shorter outright bets category at 12-1. I think Cantlay is going to be very attractive if he's low owned. I may move some shares from Homa and Kawa and go to Cantlay, and then from there I'm going to kind of see how it looks in the 9K range. I'm intrigued by Aberg and Finau and Min Woo. I'm actually a little less intrigued by Eric Cole right now at this point.
You're starting to get a little Eric Cole fatigue. Like,
no, I'm not fatigued.
But he's been up there. He's still like, I had it last week. I had the fatigue last week, and he pissed me off with that bogey at the last hole to get me out of the top 20 category for him. But yeah,
I don't, not a ton of West Coast experience. Not a ton. We haven't seen him a ton on this POA stuff. I mean, I'm just trying to find something to help me justify avoiding the 15 to 20% chalk that is Eric Cole potentially.
I feel like this is a range where I'm going to eat. I'm just going to.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad.
Pick the guys I like, and if they are chalky, then whatever is what it is. I'll figure it out later on.
Finau, it's going to be interesting to see what people do with Finau and Day. Like, given both of their course history here, their record here is fantastic. Both of them. I guess you could say Day's. I don't know. They've kind of done about the same. I mean, Day T34 last week, T10 at the Century. Finau T25 last week, a little better, but T38. I mean, almost dead. Well, I guess 59 people at the Century this year. Just slower start for him. That those two I'm interested to see what folks do with. And then I guess Ludwig too, with no experience, but obviously feels like a great course fit here. Maybe underwhelm some folks in his first two starts, but I'm interested in all those guys. I don't really have I think the only one I probably won't play is Day. I don't know that I really care about playing Day a whole lot. I don't know what it is. I have a block with Jason Day right now.
You really do. I don't mind Day in DFS. I don't think I didn't even talk about him at all in the betting show because I just don't think I want to bet him outright. And I know that like where he's priced, you probably need to expect somewhere, up there in the top 10 and scoring. But I still like Day as a potential DFS play if he's lower owned too, for sure.
Okay.
There's a little bit of pause there. I went DFS play. Did you notice that?
I did. Did you have a TIA or
I don't
something?
know. The brain wasn't.
Did you have a POA?
I had a POA annua.
All right, let's move on. I am excited that Underdog did what they did. Pat, do you know what they did? Do you know what they did?
Yeah, I do.
What?
Best ball.
Okay, no. Yeah, well, yeah, they do
Season long best ball.
Yes, season long PGA best ball. But what I'm talking about is they had the big $10 contest, $100,000 to being doled out in that contest. They filled it already. But you know what they did? They said, let's send it again. They
Run it back. Run it back.
The same size contest. So now you still have a wide open $10 contest, a $3 and a $100 season long. Tons of best ball drafts have been getting going on in the Discord and the Nut Hut. We've been talking about it like crazy. There is some real strategy to this thing that we're talking about in the Discord. I've been emailing back and forth with people at Underdog, getting some clarification on some of these key rules that you need to know about this thing. But it is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I lost everything in NFL best ball. Literally everything. I looked today. Didn't win a single dollar in NFL best ball. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I'm going to be I've already done one live draft. I did it a couple weeks ago. I know way more now about the rules and some of the strategy behind it now that I've had some time. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to try to do another one this week. But if you've not already signed up for Underdog, click the link in the description. The best ball stuff is legal in almost every if you can play any DFS, it's probably legal for you there. So, and even if you can't play DFS, check it because the best ball gets past a lot of the DFS stuff. So code Junkies gets you 100% deposit match up to $100. So click the link, check out the best ball stuff. Let's move on to the AK range, Pat.
Okay.
Keegan all the way down to Willie Z and Daniel Berger. Some decent finishes for the two guys last week.
I was a little shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I thought both of them might miss the cut last week, and they didn't. So,
yeah, Berger was. I thought Berger was. I mean, good for him. Like to come out and do what he did after being that much time off. I thought that was impressive. I like Berger. Interested to see what he does. I mean, let me look at what he did. I think he got his round in before ShotLink went bananas. Or no, maybe it was round. Oh, I don't know. He gained strokes off the tee and on approach in at least 2 of the 4 rounds, and I can't tell with the other ones because ShotLink's so stupid. But Berger's interesting. Do you think people are now going to be like, okay, maybe we'll play these guys? I mean, Willie Z at Torrey obviously has some history there.
I actually think that I would be more inclined to play Berger than I would Willie Z. And I think it's really just Willie Z's putting.
Yeah.
Would be the biggest concern for me, even though I know he's got a good history here.
Yeah.
Berger to me coming out with a made cut in a T39 last week after not having played for so long is a very good sign. So I think of the two, I would go Berger. But I think there's some pretty good options in this 8K range. This is not an 8K range as we've seen like at the Sony where we may have wanted to skip over or what. I think there's some plays in here, and I think there's some low owned plays as well.
Who do you think the low owned plays are?
Well, I think Hideki's low owned. I know you're not as big a fan of Hideki as I am, but I do think
You think
Hideki.
even with his course history, like that's usually a big driver.
I don't know. I think the form is going to be a concern for a bigger name like him. So I think Hideki could certainly be in the low owned category. I think. I don't think Keegan's going to be low owned. I feel like Keegan might be a little bit chalky. I think Sepp could be a little bit lower owned. I think Højgaard coming off of a top 5 last week in the Dubai Desert Classic that Rory won. I think he could be a little bit low owned at 8,400. Now he doesn't have any history or form on the as far as the PGA Tour is concerned, but Højgaard's a great player. He plays all over the world. I don't think playing a new course, traveling, all that kind of stuff is a huge deal for him. If I get a low owned Højgaard, I'll certainly look at him at that 8,400 price range. Same goes for Meronk, actually, too. I'm just loving the DP World Tour this week. Adrian Meronk and freaking Højgaard.
Yeah, Meronk, lost to Rory in Dubai. Nikolai finished T7. Both played well. I guess my question with both of those guys is, and this is what's going to be brought up on shows and content and articles, and so that's what's going to drive down their ownership is they haven't played here before, and they're going to be traveling from Dubai all the way to California. And today was a wash. Nobody played today. Nobody saw the golf course today. Nobody played today. The week is shortened up to Wednesday start now because of the NFL stuff. So that means they have basically Tuesday or maybe a half a day Sunday if they got out, if they really hustled, or I don't know what the time difference was, but I don't know. Probably not. They got one day to probably go cram for the South course, maybe not see the North course. Not that it's super tricked up and hard to figure out. That one's going to be interesting. I think if it were me, I am interested in these guys because they're talented players. And what we know of their game could fit this place nicely. I think I'd rather take a stab at one of them. I don't know that I want both of them. I think they're both going to be low owned, so you can pick one.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I would not take both of them in my lineup, but I do think that
I think Meronk is my favorite.
Why would you say Meronk is your favorite?
First of all, there may have been a picture circulating around the Discord of Meronk and his significant other that
so you're
it's hard to ignore. It is jarring.
Well, sometimes that happens. You get caught up in those kind of things.
Yeah. So but I like Meronk a little more than I like Højgaard.
Well, I mean, again, I think it is one of those where you just kind of have to maybe choose, but I don't know. I mean, there's certainly some other. I mean, Justin Rose is right here. Have you ever taken Justin Rose in a DFS lineup?
Justin Rose is right here. Yeah, cool. Yes, I have, Pat. We've been doing this since 2015 when Rose was very, very relevant. And I know
I just feel like lately you
yeah, and I
don't know.
What did I miss?
40, now that you're over 40, maybe you should start looking at guys that are over 40.
What have I missed? A top 10 at the Grant Thornton and a top 10 at the Hero?
61 at the Kapalua.
A what?
61.
Oh yeah, but to finish T40.
He's a strong finisher. That happens when you get into your 40. No, actually, it doesn't happen. It goes away.
Yeah, I think I'm good with that. I don't. Keegan, Sahith, Meronk, Berger, those are interesting to me. Those guys are interesting to me. And you know what? Actually, in DFS, I don't hate the Hideki call. Listen, I will say over the years, I have been very, very subject to bet or play a low-owned Hideki in DFS. I've pulled the trigger many times on low-owned Hideki in DFS, especially at near average price.
I really don't ever feel like if I take a low-owned Hideki and he doesn't perform well for me, I'm not upset with Hideki.
I know, I'm not either. Why?
I don't know. I just don't. I'm never upset with Hideki.
Okay, fun. We should have some sort of bumper for this when we go back in time when we go back in Tour Junkies time. Another fun thing that we did back in the day. Do you remember what I'm going to say with Hideki?
Oh, LASIK for Hideki?
We started the
Yeah.
hashtag LASIK for Hideki and started a GoFundMe. It's actually, it could still be out there. If you Googled LASIK for Hideki GoFundMe, it could still be out there because we were Hideki sympathizers. Everybody would get mad at Hideki when he would hit it. He'd hit it and drop the club or go, oh, and then the ball would end up 15 feet of the hole on the green for birdie or whatever. And people and the announcers and people on Twitter would just be like, what is his problem? Like, what is dude doing? Like, why does he do that? This is in 2016. And we were like, maybe Hideki has poor vision. And
Yeah.
he can't actually see it that well. And, you know, I had just gotten LASIK at the time. One of the best decisions I ever made. We started a GoFundMe because we felt like we could help push LASIK to Hideki. But it didn't, you know, shockingly, it didn't get off the ground. We didn't raise a whole lot of money. If you donated to that, I have no idea where your money is. It's still with GoFundMe, but it's a great memory back in. That was before we were doing YouTube shows, so we have no video of it, but
Yeah.
it's on
LASIK
Twitter
for
somewhere.
Hideki. Maybe that started going away too when he won the Masters, which, by the way, I had him as an outright that week.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I'm looking at, I just found it on Twitter, dude. Here we go. February 17th, right around this time of year, we tweeted, Hideki has a real problem. Be the solution. LASIK for Hideki. And the GoFund link is there. Let's see what it says. Oh, nope, it's gone. The GoFund link does not work anymore. But yeah, there's evidence of it out there.
The state has taken the money.
Yeah. God. Anyway, all right. So are you interested? Are you buying any C-Bezery? You buying some C-Bezery after the runner-up?
Mm-mm.
No? I'm not either.
No.
I'm not chasing C-Bez at 8K at Torrey Pines. Guy can't hit it out of his shadow. I'm out on that one. I'm not doing that. All right, so if you were going to start a cash lineup, give me 2 to 3 names in the 8K or above, 9K, 10K, 2 or 3 names. Who do you like cash lineup, 50-50 or double up lineup on DraftKings?
I think I would start with, I think I'd start with Sahith at 8,700.
You're going to start a cash lineup with Sahith?
Yeah, I think Sahith is I'm very confident in his abilities on this golf course.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Me too. I just wasn't going to start there, but I actually think with the soft pricing, I think I'm going to start a cash lineup with 2 guys above Sahith. I do like Sahith, by the way. I do like Sahith a lot.
You gonna start with Keegan and Harris English?
Nope. I think I'd start with Max Homa at 10-1.
Oh, okay. I didn't pay attention to you.
Clearly you didn't. And I think I said it twice.
You said it twice?
Yeah, I think I tried to get the memo to you twice that I'm asking about any player above the 8K range all the way up.
We're in the 8K range, and then you all of a sudden throw 9 and 10K into it. Why would you do that?
Because we skipped it. We didn't do it.
Would all of a sudden like take somebody from one room that they're in all the way to another whole wing of a hospital.
A wing of a hospital? You need to be in a wing of a hospital. What the crap is wrong? No, we didn't mention it in that range, and we didn't mention it in that range. I'm saying, like, okay, from all the guys we've talked about, 8K, 9K. I even said, throw the flag thing again. I even said 8K, 9K, or 10K range. You don't listen.
I would start with Morikawa.
This is an excellent opportunity for this new segment idea that we have, where after the show, one of us gets on camera and producer Tony asks us questions about the show, and it's like a confessional, because I would go off on you tonight. You're doing all the things that you do that annoy me during a show, primarily not paying attention. Like, there are 2 of us on the show.
I'm trying to look at what I'm trying to look at more research for the
There
people.
are 2 of us on the show. If one of us is not paying attention, 50% of the show has no freaking clue what's going on.
Well, you know what? If you're talking too much, sometimes I'm not paying attention.
I'm talking too much by asking you your cash place, which is on the sheet that we're going to talk about.
I would probably go with Morikawa then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now you have an answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For me, Homa.
Okay, never.
I think I'm going Homa, Min Woo, and Sahith. I think that's how I'm starting a cash lineup.
Okay, well, I already said Thagala, so I'll go with Morikawa, Thagala. I don't think I would go Minwoo at all. I'd probably go. I could actually see me dropping down to Justin Rose in cash.
Oh God, you're gonna play Justin. I can't wait to remind you of that. If you, well, yeah, I won't have to remind you. You'll see it in the losing cash lineups that you'll
I'm
have.
just saying.
Yeah. Okay. Remember last Wednesday night in the Discord chat when you and somebody else wanted to sell me so hard. I had to fight. I had to counter so hard against Ricky Fowler. What did he do last week?
He sucked last week.
Yeah. Okay.
You say that as if you have never been wrong. I mean, come on.
You know what we've never been wrong about, Pat, is our love for Swannies. That's right. The Swannies apparel sponsor is in full effect. We've now got the discount code for the Tour Junkies followers. TJ25 gets you 25% off your entire order, and you can use it over and over again. It's the best discount you can find on Swannies anywhere on the internet. Even if you join their their newsletter or whatever, it's still only 15% off. They're giving Tour Junkies listeners a nice bonus. We met these guys in 2015 when they first started at the PGA show, which is also this week. It's the khakis and the assholes in khakis convention at the PGA show in Orlando.
A lot of khakis,
a lot of assholes.
A lot of backpacks.
We used to be two of those guys. And we went to PGA show in 2016. Met these guys right after they had started. Just such good people, good guys. U.S. based company, ships anywhere to U.S. and Canada. They're fantastic stuff. They're going to be at the Waste Management. We'll be at the Waste Management. We're going to do some content with them. Going to get some good stuff with them. If you are at the Swannies booth at Waste Management, shout out, say something to them, tell them you're a Tour Junkies fan, whatever. They might give you something free. I don't know. I'm just committing that to them now. But TJ25, click the link in the description. What I also love about them is not only are the clothes awesome, stylish, great feel, great fit, but they have not just men's, juniors, and women's apparel. And my family, we all like the golf apparel and like golf vibes and fashion. So I can get something for my 13-year-old, I can get something for my 19-year-old, and I can get something for my wife. And we all like it, and we all look stylish, and we're all supporting a US-based, family-owned company like Swanee. So really proud to be partnered with them for the rest of the year. You're not going to stop hearing about them. We love it. It's good stuff. And I'm also working on a little side project with Swannies that involves Pat, who's not paying attention still. See, that look on his face when it's kind of frowny. When you see this when it's kind of like this.
No, I heard you. You're talking. You were
no.
talking
Hold on. Shush.
You were talking about a little project with Pat and Swanee.
When it's kind of like this, and he's looking down, and he's kind of going. It's like the same face you make in reading glasses, but when he's doing like this. That means Pat is not paying attention fully.
I am literally one of the
don't say that
highest ranked highest ranked multitaskers and listeners in the world.
Deny. I do not agree. That is not true. You are wrong. You know you're wrong. That's why you're laughing. Anyway, I am working on a fun little side project with Swannies.
See, I repeated back exactly what you said, didn't I?
That will involve Pat. It's but that's just speaks to the width and the breadth and the depth that is Swannies fashion. That there's something on there that I like, and there's stuff on there that Pat likes. It's a beautiful thing. So check them out. All right, 7K range. This is why you can get aggressive up top, because there is a ton of value here in the 7K range. A lot of good names here. I can see a lot of good stuff happening. I'm going to actually start it off with the 3 names at the top. I love the top end of this range with Shane Lowry, Keith Mitchell, and Luke List. Now, I think Luke List is going to get some attention. He's checking some boxes as always. He's obviously got the win here. Great, a strong record here. Started off the season okay, but Luke List fashion, right? Hitting it well, putting it terribly. But he seems to, at least have the occasional spike year here. He just knows how to play Torrey Pines. He's comfortable here. I like Luke a lot. But I also like Keith Mitchell a lot too. He feels like Luke List, but with a better short game. and that's going to be critical here. I know Keith doesn't have the record, and I normally wouldn't play him out here, but I just have a feeling about Keith, and it feels like something's popping for him. Played well at the MX. And then I think Shane Lowry is going to be a little bit like the 7K Hideki. He's just kind of the veteran that nobody's super excited about. He's not playing amazing, but he's not playing like god awful. I mean, I talked about this on the betting show, missed the cut at the MX, but at 12 under, like God, and I know relative to the field, that wasn't amazing, but for his first event in 2024 out here, I think it's not bad. So I don't think a lot of people are going to play him. He's never played here. I like those three right off the bat.
Okay. I'm actually with you. I like
All
of them.
three?
Yeah, all three of
Okay.
them. Big fan.
Were you in on Lowry in the betting show, or did I convince you on the betting show?
No, you kind of convinced me, but he was one I was really wanting to be convinced on. Like when I was looking
good.
through on the betting show, I was like, or when I was preparing for the show.
Usually good iron player, good short game, right? Like that's what we like out of Shane Lowry.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
So I think that's a good one. Drop it down a little bit. I'm gonna kind of continue to play Ben Griffin a little bit. I mean, you look at had the T30 at the Sony Open, top 10 last week at the American Express. Kind of felt like a little sneaky top 10 there. Has played here once before.
Are you just trying to force in the word sneaky on that?
I mean, I don't think I've said sneaky all night. So I mean,
if you think we've gone a show in 3/4,
there's no way I could check the tape again. There's no way I said sneaky. I know what I said. That's the first time I've said sneaky all night long.
I bet I could have you betting by the end of the night. You're like, there's zero chance you did not say it. Now I know I've said it.
I know when I say a word like sneaky, and I have not said that single word the whole entire night. Anyway.
Okay. If you're watching on YouTube, put that in the comments if you've already heard Pat say sneaky. Go ahead.
Ben Griffin at it's 7,700. I do still like. Dropping down a little bit, man. Adams Fenson drives me crazy.
Yeah.
He checks a lot of boxes here.
Yeah.
He's
everywhere. Checks him everywhere.
Everywhere. But I just don't know what to do with him. If I like Keith Mitchell, though, who's missed a ton of cuts here, why would I not like Svensson, who missed a cut last year and was 79th in 2022?
How's his short game?
It's not very good. If you're looking at the BTN
that's where
model,
he's not. That's where he's not Keith Mitchell.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. I agree. A couple others that I think are decent plays. This guy Rio Hisatune.
What? Now how are you gonna go and pronounce his name? Now how are you gonna do that? That is not how you said his name last time.
Rio Hisatune.
Hisatune. I was hoping that you were going to get to him so you would say
Was that on the chat when I was talking about that, or was that on the show last week? I can't remember.
I don't remember because there's been two. There's two new guys, and there's been two that you've said in funny ways, and that's one of them. And if you don't say the next one, I am, because I like him. But he's also in this range.
Yeah, Rio, though, by the way, just is playing well this year. T30 at the Sony, T11 last week at the American Express. Great on approach, decent scrambler versus the field. So I like Rio a little bit here. Now I'm trying to figure out who it was that you were talking about. The other guy I got to go with is my boy Sam Ryder. I mean, come on, the guy almost won here last year at a top 10 back in 2021. He's another box checker when you look at approach, decent scrambling, great putter on POA. I like Sam Ryder a lot at 7,200.
No JJ Spawn for you, Pat?
No JJ Spawn. Oh, I know who you're going to say.
Who?
Mathieu. Mathieu Pavon.
Mathieu. Yes. And so Mathieu is who I like. I'm in on Mr. Pavon there at 7,100, just continuing to get off to a decent start, hitting it well. I like that. Other than that, I like Eckroat at 7,100. kind of looking at this lower 7K range to pair with my 3 studs up at the top of the 7K range, or just trying to think about how I'm going to fit these guys into lineups with 2 or 3 guys in the 9K and 10K range. But I think Eckroat's interesting. He seems like a player who would do well. Tougher golf courses, mid to long iron contest, hits the ball plenty far. We know he has upside. I think Eckroat's interesting. Now, if he's chalky, I'm quick to bail on Eckroat. Kevin Yu is kind of popping a little bit for me. T3 at the Amex, hits it far. I don't know. We'll see. I don't love it, but we'll see. Pendrith. We talked about Pendrith a little bit on the betting show. 74. It just feels like he's like Luke List light with what he does and doesn't do. I just think Pendrith is kind of interesting to me. He's definitely a better putter than Luke. Maybe the irons aren't quite as good, but plenty distance. T16 here back in 2022. I kind of like Pendrith. I wonder what people are going to do with him. I'm not too sure.
Pendrith is starting to he's become one of those now that I don't know what to do with.
Did Ryan Fox play in Dubai? He did.
No, I did like. Now Fox is one I kind of like this week too, but I don't know.
He played in Dubai, finished T31.
Yeah, he seems so solid. Like I don't feel like he misses a lot of cuts,
right?
But I don't feel like it just feels so course specific for him. I know he can absolutely bomb it.
That's part of it, yeah. Which he can do here.
Yeah.
He can open it up here for sure. He's going to hit freaking 14 drivers. Detry, does Detry kind of intrigue you a little bit?
Detry's like Pendrith. Pendrith and Detry are in the same category for me.
What category is that?
I don't know what to do with them. That category.
Well, I'm going to investigate further. They're both names that just kind of intrigue me in this range. I'm surprised you're not interested in your boy Davis Thompson. Like you liked him. I mean, you were right about him. I didn't really love him last week at the MX. T21's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know yet about Davis on really hard courses. I need to go back and check his stats and his performances on harder courses. Because it's just different. I mean, you talked about this at some point when I was paying attention.
Yeah.
That you talk about the fact that you just can't really put a whole lot of stock into the American Express versus this week, which you can't. I mean, it's just totally different. And so I don't know with Davis Thompson.
Okay. All right, let's move to the 6K range. Let's get this draft out of the way. I got to see this video. 6K range draft last week was not good. I don't have it in front of me. Shit.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I have it somewhere.
Last week wasn't great.
Yeah, I'll tell you who it was. It was Bobby Mack was you.
He missed the cut.
Carl Yuan was me.
Missed the cut.
I think I wrote down Maverick for you.
Yep.
Joel Damon for me.
Missed the cut.
Carson Young.
Oh, that was mine. He finished T17.
Good. And Cam Champ, he missed the cut. We had it. That was awful. We were 5 of 6 the week before that, and we were
nailed it.
1 of 6 that week. Good
Nailed
job. We should not kiss our brains. We should slam our brains.
Oh.
Well, let's not do that.
Chances are we will improve on that though this week. I see that coming.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you like? I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with. I'm going to throw you off a little bit, actually.
Ooh.
I'm going to throw you off. I'm going to start with Lonto Griffin at 6,800.
Ooh.
Very good history for a guy at his level. Top 10 in 2021, T30 in 22, T37 in 23. Has actually, he's played twice this year, made the cut both times at the Sony and the American Express. So Lonto Griffin, 6,800.
Hit it well too last week. Round 4 alone gained over 3 strokes on approach, shot 4 under, finished T39. So I mean, not a great finish, but good to see him flash a little bit of iron play form. I was looking at him. That's interesting. Well, I'm going to go back to a guy that I've been interested in for quite some time now, but he hits it a long way, putts it pretty nice. Irons are usually a little suspect. Around the green play can be a little suspect. But I'm going to go back to Vince Whaley again, 6,800.
Okay.
I can't stop Vince Whaley. I mean, I know Bramlett's there. Bramlett's kind of interesting at the 6,800 mark. He made some cuts here, had some top 20 finishes. But I think I'm going V Whale. T34 last week at the Amex, 18 under.
Well, it's funny we're staying right here in the same range because I'm going to stay at 6,800, and I'm going to go with Doug Gim, who is now this is me trusting the stats a little bit, trusting the BTN model where he's in the top 20. You look off the tee, decent on approach, fairly good against the field when it comes to scrambling. He's definitely just not a long hitter. So this is a guy that's not going to check a box in that category. So I'm going to go with Doug Gim here though at 6,800.
Yeah, there's not a lot in the low 6K that I like or mid 6K. It is very tempting to stay up here in the upper regions of the 6K range. I'm tempted to go to Toasty though in the mid, but I don't think I love that. Well, whatever. This is just going to be the theme for me here because I'm just going to keep going back to my guys. But I like him better on a tough course. I like Bobby Mack again. 6,800. Keep feeding me Bobby Mack in the 6K range, and I'm probably going to keep falling for it. I like him 6K range, tough golf course, needing some short game. That's where I think he kind of is going to be better off than he is at the MX.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't mind that.
Okay.
All right, one more. Man. By the way, I really like Sam Stevens at 7,000. I forgot to mention him in the 7K range. I think he could be a good cheap.
We were in this room, and now we're on another wing of the hospital because you went to a different range.
Sorry, my bad. All right. Man, now I'm stuck. I don't know what to do, DV. All right. I will go with
maybe prepare.
Yeah, right. Why would anybody want to do that? What are you talking about? All right. I'm going to go with Vincent Norman. I'm just going with the fact that he's got a lot of ball speed and decent on approach. So there you go. Vincent Norman.
I don't mind V Norm. So you had Lanto, Gim, V Norm. I had Bobby Mack, Whaley, and who? Have I made a third pick?
You have a third. Pay attention.
Oh, I thought I'd already made one. Maybe in my mind. In my mind, I made one. All right. What about shit? I don't know.
It's really hard. I was having some trouble in this.
I kind of want to go to one guy, but his short game is bad. I really want the short game this week. I really want to see some short game. What if Johnny Vegas is kind of back?
Oh,
I mean, I know he's coming off of like a hiatus. Missed the cut at the Sony, missed the cut at the Amex, but still got it to 12 under. I think I'm going with Johnny V.
All right.
Bomber had some decent finishes here over the years.
Okay.
Let's see what Johnny Vegas has done here. Not Farmers. Yeah, he's played here a bunch, man. He likes this place. I think Johnny V's in. There it is. Johnny V, Vincent Norm, Doug Gim, Lanto Griffin, Bobby Mack, Vincent Whaley. All right, Pat. I'm excited for this. I don't know how to tee it up because I don't know what it is. So either you tee it up, Tony tees it up.
I think Tony should tee it up. Let's put Tony on the spot. Tony was the one that helped put this together. Tony, you can bring us home on this one.
Yeah, so we've been having these production meetings, trying to, put our best foot forward, put some good content out there for the listeners, for fans. So we hope this is one of those. I'm excited about it. Pat, I know you're excited about it. I think I'm more excited or more nervous now. I really hope DB likes it, and I hope he doesn't yell at me because I've been laughing in the background at him yelling at you, Pat. So hopefully some of that doesn't get pointed towards me.
In some way, I feel like this is like some of the bets where like what the reaction is going to be. Like DB knew that I was probably going to like spam. Like now that you and I like really are proud of this, I feel like DB is going to go the opposite way on us, but we'll just see. Like let's hope we get a truthful judge in DB on this.
Why would I not? I've never not been truthful. I will be truthful. If I like, I'm gonna laugh. You're gonna see me laughing.
Okay.
In fact, if you just want to put me on the screen with it, I'll just do that. Now you can watch me laugh. All right, hit me.
Here we go, fellas.
Greetings, folks. Welcome to Pat's Garden.
It's already funny.
I thought this would be a good week to walk you through the garden and talk a little bit about some of the vegetables I have in here. We'll start with Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts kind of seem rather tasteless, a little boring at the beginning, but if you make them just right, they can actually end up being pretty good. Kind of like EVR maybe. Had some anger issues. He's sometimes a shitty golfer, but he still won a couple times.
Well, did you just fart in that?
Here we have some potatoes. Now, you may have noticed that these potatoes have withered and died. Perhaps they've gone on to greener pastures, like John Rock. But a potato is a strong vegetable, fat, big. Well, sometimes things tend to linger around from the summer, and we don't expect it to, and it just stays around. And that's what happened with this cucumber. Kind of looks like a dick. And reminds me of Michael Block. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Anyway, let's move along here.
Anyway.
Here we have some spinach. Now, spinach packs a punch. It's strong. Kind of small. It's good for you, though. Kind of reminds me of Justin Thomas when he's playing good. Behind me here, snow peas. Now, these snow peas are not quite ready yet. There's not even the snow pea here. It's just
I
a
hate
vine.
snow peas.
But snow peas remind me of Rory McIlroy. Kind of soft. It's sort of like a beta pea. Now we have some broccoli. Now, this broccoli here is about ready to be picked. And, broccoli is just kind of a vegetable that's there. It always shows up. It just happens to be on the plate. But sometimes, under the right conditions, it can be pretty good, but it can be a little bit boring at times, but that's okay. Reminds me a little bit of Colin Morikawa. Love a good baked chicken and some Morikawa. So here we have some cauliflower. Cauliflower I find quite tasty, but it can be a little bit bland, pasty. Sort of reminds me of maybe a
Can be tasty and bland.
Patrick Cantlay, Grant Snedeker. Anyway, moving on.
There's more? God. Are we covering every vegetable?
Cabbage. Now, cabbage is just the type of vegetable that looks fantastic. Look at that. But then once you start to cook it, sometimes it can not be so good. Like Charlie Hoffman. Or
What?
Charlie Hoffman. Now, finally, the pride of the garden. Just coming in and ready to be eaten. Artichoke hearts. Reminds me of Tommy Fleetwood.
No shots fired.
That's all that needs to be said about that. Thank you for joining me in the garden, and good luck this week. May your screens be green.
That's fantastic. Fantastic work. I am blown away. You boys both did a great job.
I love Pat's delivery with all of that. Just the look in the eye, the look in the camera, and just just this cucumber. It looks like
His timing is definitely underrated. He's got a good. Pat's come a long way, Tony, in terms of
Tony
his,
doesn't. Yeah.
his time on camera. Timing is impeccable. Yeah, that was great. That was great. Did you, Pat, when you were doing that, did you think it was going to be, when you were doing it, did you just feel stupid and like none of it was funny, or did you think it was going to be good?
No, as I was doing it, I thought it was going to be pretty good. There were some parts though that got taken out.
Yeah, what are the
Like,
behind the scenes?
I liked when I called it "Can't Lay Cauliflower." I don't know why. I just liked it. Can't lay cauliflower. I thought that was kind of funny, but
Deleted scene there from
maybe that
Tony
was
made
why.
an editorial decision.
Maybe Tony didn't like that. He didn't think it was funny, but
there are some outtakes, so maybe we can do a couple different versions. One for social, that one for YouTube,
Yeah.
and then we can do a behind the scenes, because there was a couple times where we weren't filming the beginning of it, but it was just like, okay, they're just gonna cut this out anyway.
yeah, no,
All right, now we have here.
There are
Like,
always outtakes with
there.
Pat.
So, and I sent the whole raw footage to Tony. So,
You sent
like,
the
he has.
outtakes too?
There's certainly some outtakes, I'm sure, because I went through it twice, and the first run was actually kind of a practice run that I thought went actually pretty well, and then I did a second run that I do think was better, and that, but it was they were both pretty decent. Thanks to Tony, by the way. Tony wrote a lot of the script. You may not think this after watching that there was a whole lot of script, but there was.
Oh, you delivered it so authentically and organically. We all thought you just came up with that. Brilliant work, boys.
Beta P was my favorite though. Beta P, Rory. I will
believe
never
you
think of Snow Peas the same way again, because I'll just think of it as a Rory Beta P.
I can't believe I was thinking about that when you said that. You've kind of like jumped on my bandwagon of calling Rory a beta over the years.
A little bit, although he redeemed himself somewhat last week by winning the golf tournament.
Well, yeah, but he still did it as beta-ly as I think one could win a tournament.
Okay.
That was great. Now, I can't wait to hear what you guys cook up for the farmers next year. Like, I think we just have to keep taking this. Pat, you just have to take it one step further every year.
Here's what we need to do, okay, Tony, is we'll just, we need to mark it down to remember when I'm doing the summer garden, where we have way more interesting vegetables and things like that, that I just record this summer, and we'll do something this summer. So
there we go.
I'm thinking you can go watch it on the betting show, but I'm thinking what you did with signing up for Farmers Only, Pat, you finish that process and you go on farmers dates. We track them, and then the farmers next year
I
will.
don't know if the wife would like that.
We'll do like some speed dating.
I might want to try it, but she may not like it.
Get you a little country thing. Take her for a spin.
Yeah. There's a lot. Listen,
back
to the summer garden. There's a lot more color in that. I feel like the fall vegetables, which you saw in that video, are a lot more boring than your summer gardens. So.
They're funny though.
Yeah, they were fun.
Kudos to you in your garden though, Pat. That was very nice.
Very nice. Great stuff, guys. Appreciate you knocking that out. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Listen, for all that effort, if you haven't liked, subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you haven't left a 5-star review on the podcast, please, what are you doing? For all that effort, come on, look at Pat. Pat, look at him. Look at the camera. Yeah, that's the camera. Just come on, all right? And while you're at it, bend over your bookies. See ya.